And blessings, family. Sister Ajali. Don't get in white men getting in the middle of white men's way. They are going through some stuff. And the best way, just leave them to their astroturf, but it sure looks greener side of the fence. And we'll stay over an hour. It's a little patchy here and there. We got a lot of work to do, but woo, just there's going to be some all kinds of craziness going on. Now, unfortunately, we are still a part of their system. Yet, the reason why it's good to mentally separate yourself from them is you begin to feel confident. You begin to have faith in yourself. You start to build, like with me writing my books. It was wonderful because Brother Iapo started writing his, and he inspired me because he's just relentless to keep on going with mine, so that by the time I finished the book, I was really amazed that it's so good. I mean, This Black Nation, the second of the This Black series. And that's what we do for each other. I've run across many of us who are just taking it to the next level. That's such a beautiful thing because these dudes, what they're going through, it is of their own making. It's of their own disregard for the ways of Allah and use the name of the Creator you feel righteously guided to embrace. Now, this dude right here, I don't remember his name. I don't care. I really don't. He was on the run for some crimes he committed, whatever. And I guess he thought that nobody would be able to recognize him. But that's not my point. My point is, I remember when I was a little girl living in Freeport, Long Island, and I would always go to the public library, and I just happened across a book. I don't even remember what the book was, but I know that Allah works in that particular way because that book was so memorable. I just opened it up to a couple pages, read maybe, I don't know, a page or more of it, and it stayed with me all my life. It said that it was like an examination of Africa. It said that we were sent here. I'm not saying whether it's right or not. We were sent here because we would come to understand our enemy with our innate intelligence, no matter how far down the generations we rebirthed ourselves, as long as we didn't white ourselves out. We just have a natural propensity to be repulsed by evil and thereby understand it. And they also said that white people were going to eventually try to imitate those original societies that they tried to destroy. And I'm looking at, since I've been seeing with the earplugs, and then they got their own interpretation. When we do body scarification or modification of any sort, it's not to horrify people, but for them, because that's the core, that's the demon core of what they're trying to just, I can't say they're trying to heal it, because their whole mantra is, in order to not do evil, you have to do evil. It's just a weird thing. That's what Kobe Bryant and his Black Mamba satanic teachings were all about. And continue, because you got a lot of black people, come on, Sodom and Gomorrah, that was black us. And so it's not as if evil can't take root inside of us. It's just that we have a better ability to hear the clarity of doing good. And so with these dudes, they're losing it. And to be connected to them in any way, shape, or form is going to be disastrous. I want to do it as a separate share, but maybe I'll just say, the swirlers are really, really stupidly brave. right? Because they're hanging out with these dudes like they don't even notice. They want to swear that black men and black women are the worst on the planet, and that's just a bold-faced lie. And that they're having a real hard time justifying or proving, and that's why they get rid of us pro-black voices, because we annihilate them within 5 seconds. We annihilate any of their talking points. So they're just going out. This dude, Rick Caruso, I don't know if that's Rick is his first name, but Caruso's his last name, and he's running for mayor of LA against this black woman right here, LA mayoral debate. And they asked her a question about racism. And he immediately got into a defensive posture saying he's not white. He is Italian and Latino. I don't think he said Latino, he said Latin. So that's all just Italian, right? Because the people who are here in the Americas who are the original folks from here, they're not Latin either. But they are flattered by that, which gets me to the point, which is that I don't care if you got a little, like when you go out in the sun, you could stay an extra half an hour or whatever. Every single non-black race out there bows down to the white paradigm, the whole concept that they're the smartest, they're the best, and in some way, even if there's going to be more and more transracializing as time goes on. I mean, sometimes I'll run across pictures of the Kardashians and I'm like, where'd they get these black women from? Where they're just so friggin' brown. It's ridiculous. I'm just like, that's the slow transracializing, because the more we fall in love with our beautiful black selves, what you look around and you're like, what would I ever want with anybody else when I have us? The more they're going to miss us, because we feed their desire to feel as if they're the best on the planet so that they could overlook all the crap they do. They know each other on an intimate basis. I'll run across horrible murder stories, and there's so many. Whenever you hear a white person say, I'm just so surprised that this happened in our neighborhood, they're lying, okay? There are songs out there that I didn't even know were based on real things that happened. Like one of my favorite, what's his name? Tom Waits. He's got this one song called Murder in the Red Barn. And not one of my favorite songs that he's done, but he has a style that for a while when I was listening to him a lot, I could just like do a album after album of Tom Waits, and I was having a good old time. So, there was a murder in the Red Barn, murder in the Red Barn. I didn't know that was based on a real murder that happened in like the 1800s in England. And then Nick Cave, he's a genius, an arrogant bastard genius, but he really is a genius. And he has a slew. He even has an album called Murder Songs. I bet almost all of them are based on things that actually happened, because I'll just run into that where you find out that they weren't singing something that was going through their mind fantastically. All their movies about, the island of ghouls or whatever the heck, that's all based on reality. And that's not their, just, what imaginations white people have. No, right? The friggin' Irish murdering family that had 20 children or whatever, and they base all this stuff. I can't even remember the names because there's so many of them. Sweeney Todd, all that stuff, that's all based on real depraved white folks. And so when we go completely ignorant, and they make sure that we remain ignorant with these Google eyes looking at these people, they need that. They need that. And they can sense that we're done because they'll come up on social media and they'll see what we're talking about. And it sort of, if there are white people who are open to being able to hear the truth about themselves because they don't prefer the truth over their own sense of self, which is based on deviltry. Right? Your father's the devil, and I knew all about him. He's a father of lies. They identify with that more than they identify with just being pure beings who prefer the truth. And so that'll make them feel guilty. That'll make them feel as if there's no meaning to life. And that's driving them crazy, crazy, crazy. So this dude doesn't even want to identify as a white man when, yo, dude, that's what you are. And as things get worse and worse, because I keep going over how white people don't like white people. White lives matter. No, they don't even matter to you. I mean, there was this flight instructor and her students who I think the flight instructor's dead. The students are just injured after a plane crash at Newport. I guess that's in Rhode Island, no, in Virginia. And this young flight instructor, Victoria Teresi Lungman, I guess is her name, but you would think that's what they shoved down our throats, the way that she was, blonde head, I guess she got the blue eyes and, the ski slope nose thing going on. They would swear this is the epitome. This is the epitome of what every woman wants to be. Not anymore. And you would think that they would want to put the warning out about the Wigner effect and how 85% of the radiation from all nuclear sources, but Fukushima has been like 50,000 nuclear bombs. It's all up in the troposphere where airplanes cruise and these teeny tiny little planes out here, they don't put them to an exacting standard of maintenance. So they're flying up through them suckers with the air, the clouds, and all that radiation is getting into their fuselage. It's tearing their planes apart. I saw pictures just this week. Every week it's a new thing that happens. It's not just one, like it'll be several dozen horrors happening up in the skies. A whole big giant jumbo jet, the wheels just fell off as it took off. I don't know how it landed. I don't have time to look into everything. But whoa, I was like, wow. And this young lady here, whole nother incident. She dead. She gone. Her white man didn't want her, which is what gets me to this. And I thank you, brother Yappa, for sharing this with me. Because I thought to myself, all those white hunters out there and fishermen out there, they love their hunt. They love it. And I used to go fishing with my dad. I ain't mad about the fishing. And if things get really crazy like these dudes got in mind, then I'll be hunting for the first time ever. You're daggone tootin' right. Okay? Because, yeah, I'm going to live to go vegan another day. So do not eat. I guess I won't be able to eat it though, but I'll find some. I know how to get radiation out. But high levels of toxic forever chemicals found in deer and fish. The reason I know that this whole thing is a load of crap? It's because they're scared of their white men with guns. Oh, yes, indeedy, they are. So they know there's going to be loads of them coming down with all the things that are caused by radiation contamination, because as I emphasized before, it's the low levels that'll take you out more surely than a one-time high dose, especially if you're ingesting it. So if you're hunting your deer out there, you're getting your fish out there, and you're eating that sucker, you're taking in every single piece of radiation that creature ever took in itself. And trust and believe, it ain't going to get no boron drops. It ain't getting no Nation iodine. It's not eating cilantro to get that stuff out. And so these hunters, a lot of white people do know about Fukushima. They're going to be pissed as hell, on top of already being pissed as hell. Okay? So I know this is disingenuous. It's just based on fear, this warning. Because, first off, to just say it's forever chemicals, you lead everybody who's getting this warning completely astray so that they don't know, oh, I do need some liquid boron. I do need some apricot kernels in order to eliminate the threat of the radiation. Okay? So that they're going to countenance in these friggin' obfuscated methods forever chemicals. They're lying. And then I think about all the other stuff out there that's toxic. They aren't warning people, oh, you need to not have those microwaves in your house. You're still walking around with your cell phone, and most people don't have any diode little inserts inside of it so it can absorb the radiation. When all you need to do is talk on that cell phone more than 2 times, 2 minutes per day. And that's enough to start a tumor in your brain because the signal goes through the walls of your house. How's it not going through the walls of your skull? Right? And the reason why they let it be okay is because it's non-ionizing radiation, meaning it just jostles the little organelles inside your each cell, each brain cell. Trust and believe, somebody tapping you on the shoulder constantly, you're going to get pissed off if they don't stop that. Well, your cells are going to get pissed off too. They have a will to survive. That's why they go cancerous. I don't see any warnings out about that. It's about these forever chemicals. And it's about where it's happening in the venues where radiation would be most prominent, out in the wild environment where animals are going to be sniffing and breathing up these radical particles on the constant, so that you have a severely mutated deer out there, right? Where this one, his jaw isn't even fully formed. And I guess they shot him, but that's what they mean. Don't eat him. And they're even saying in the headline itself, deformed dark deer bagged by hunters leads to questions on increase. All right, overbite deformity is widely believed to be due to congenital hypothyroidism, but cause unknown. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? They always say that. Trust and believe, there's white men out there who know. They know what's going on. This, when have you ever seen anything of the sort like this, where you have a deer covered in tumors, right? And they say, oh, it's HPV. No, it's radiation. I mean, it's not even like a question that they're just, I went to a fight and an ice hockey match broke out. Okay, this is them. I'm not saying it can't be part of us, but I'm just saying they'll take it to a level that is nonstop. And if you're in the middle of all of that, it's non-winnable, okay? But separation, let the Most High take care of it, all right? I love your family, and I wish nobody any harm. I know there are resolutions to everything for everybody, but you got to be brave. But you got to be brave, and you got to love truth more than you love your damn ego. Peace and blessings, family. Go buy my books. I need you to assist me. That's just a fact. And you're also going to enjoy yourself and save yourself. Peace and blessings. They're on Amazon or on my king site, 25,000yearcycle.net. Peace and blessings.